I thought it was about time I fired up the Amiga. It's been a while. This is Lotus Turbo Challenge 2 on the Amiga. Listen to that music. I think this was actually a real artist, wasn't it? I'll probably get a copyright strike now. Listen to that. Bum, 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 bum. Anyway, I'll stop singing, I promise. I was just trying to work out the music, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to work up the song. Mike, you're making a video. Come on. Stop being silly. Yeah, this is one of my favourite games on the Amiga. Like, it's in my top 5, for sure. I used to play... I didn't own this, but I used to play a lot of it at a guy's house called Andrew. Big shout out to Andrew. When I was in school... We'd, basically after school go over his house sometimes. His parents, he had those parents, oh wow, look at this. But he had those parents, those kind of parents, that would come home from work like 7, 8 p.m. So like I say, a few of us would be crammed into his tiny bedroom, all taking turns on this or doing some split screen. I think you could do split screen in this, you can. I know you can, I don't know why I'm asking. I might take a look at the split screen in this just to see how it looks, even though I have no player with me to race against. Oh, this is still so good to play, the way the car handles. Now, I think I've played the first game as well. The first game, I think, was more serious, and by that I mean it wasn't as accessible as this. I think this is a bit more arcadey, and that's why I love this version rather than the first game. I might be wrong on that and thinking of a different game, but I'm pretty sure that was the case. Oh, no, no, no. Hits the rock. Yeah, this is just so good. It looks gorgeous for its time, and it's just absolutely brilliant. One of the, if not the best racers on the Amiga, in my opinion. Now, I also remember you could, on the Amiga version, maybe on the Atari ST version as well, I'm not sure, but definitely on the Amiga version, you could link your Amiga up to another Amiga and have 2 players, maybe even 4, up to 4 players. And basically, you could play cooperatively and race against each other, but obviously in full screen, you've all got your own Amiga. Which was just, like, mind-blowing. I never saw it in action, like, in the flesh kind of thing. But I remember that being a huge deal about this game in the Amiga magazines at the time. And just everyone in school saying, should we all meet up and bring our Amigas and link them together? And it just never happened because not enough people owned a copy of this game. I think everyone had to own the copy of this game to do that. But anyway, in regards to the reviews, this did well back in the day. Now, I'm not... or I haven't got the wiki open for a change because I just want to race and talk about this game. I usually open the wiki for games I'm not too familiar with. This game I'm very familiar with, and I remember a lot about this game. But it did review really well back in the day in the Amiga magazines, and yeah, it's just superb. It's just an absolutely brilliant game. Let's try this again. So, yeah, it was one of those games I didn't own. I wanted it, but when you're a kid, you get allocated a certain amount of budget for your video games, essentially. So it was just one of those things I never got around to playing, or rather, I never got around to owning it. And this guy, Andrew, he's one of those kids who used to have every video game. He was a big Man United supporter as well. That's probably why we got on so well. And he was the type of kid who had every Man United shirt at kit launch. Like the home, the away, the goalkeeper shirt. His parents were loaded. And I was lucky to get just one shirt every season, you know. They were expensive. My parents couldn't really afford it for my brothers and I, even though we did have a shirt most seasons. But as an example, Andrew obviously then had all of the computer games for the Amiga, including this absolute gem. Let me know if you've played this game, guys. Oh. Yeah, I'm playing on joystick, or rather I'm emulating a joystick. I'm actually using the PS5 pad to play this. It's one button to accelerate because it's emulating the joystick, of course. And there isn't a lot of depth here. It's a bit like Outrun in a sense. It's just fun. But the landing is really good. You can't just... Well, you can just throw it around the corners, but you've got to think about what you're doing a bit. You've got to either let go of accelerate or at least slow down enough for these corners. Otherwise, you will go off the track. And it's just absolutely wonderful. It's a checkpoint system, as you saw earlier. So I failed the... or I didn't get to the checkpoint in time. Again, very Outrun. But I love the fact that it was real cars in a way. I mean, this is the Lotus something, isn't it? I'm not familiar with cars, guys. You know how it goes on the channel, but yeah. And I know Outrun obviously uses the Ferrari and stuff. I'm not saying that Outrun had fake cars. Outrun's another game I absolutely love. However, with that said, not the Amiga version. Dave and I have featured that on the channel. Outrun is... the Amiga port's one of the worst. I think I'm remembering that right. Dave will let me know. I think it was Dave who did the video on his own. I might have been out of town. I don't know. But anyway, we've definitely featured on the channel. Go check out Bad Video Games. And back to this. Oh, yeah, there you go. I really hope we can get to see a bit more of this game. I hope yeah. Oh, time's running out again. This was my fear with covering this game. Right, we've made that checkpoint. Okay. Yeah, this was my fear, guys, was sucking at this so you only get to see the beginning part of it, because it does... Well, the graphics just get more and more impressive as it all unfolds, but I don't think I'll be able to. If I was just playing and not commentating and thinking about stuff to say about the game, maybe I'd be okay, but yeah, you know what it's like. Chorizo struggles to do 2 or 3 things all at the same time. Ah, this is wonderful. Absolutely. When you get into a rhythm with this game, you really can... Or it really does feel like you're driving extremely fast in a sports car. And that is what these games were set out to do, weren't they? I mean, I know that's a simplistic way of looking at a game, a racer. But there were loads of races back in the 8-bit and 16-bit days which were dreadful. They didn't give you that sense of speed. They didn't give you that sense of fun. Some of them were just so bad. I'm trying to think of examples. Maybe I'll just keep those games in my own brain and feature 1 or 2 of them on Bad Video Games, because I know them, I just can't remember the names of them. This, obviously, is not one of them. This is... in my top 5, maybe top 3 Amiga games of all time. Maybe top 3. I mean, my favourite Amiga game of all time is probably The Secret of Monkey Island. Oh, I don't know. There's a question, guys. Let me know your favourite racers in the 16-bit generation. So it doesn't have to be necessarily the Amiga, because I guess some of you aren't an old dude like me, and your memories will be of the SNES maybe, or the Genesis, Mega Drive. So yeah, 16-bit racers. Anyway, let's see the split screen. Here we go. I love the fact you can have manual gears in this. Like, how the hell does that work? Would it be keyboard only for that? I'm assuming that's what the 2 little gear sticks mean. Couldn't mean anything else. Anyway, look, I'm racing against no one. But just to show you guys, if you were interested, here's the split screen. And it looks great. It looks fine. It's such a cool game. You all need to play this game. This needs a remaster or a reboot or whatever. Oh, I'd be all over it. I keep saying on the channel, I don't agree with all these remasters, but then I keep playing all of these old games, and every time I say, about the ones I love, of course, this game needs a reboot, remaster, remake. So, yeah, it's food for thought. Anyway, that's Lotus Turbo Challenge 2, whatever it is called. It's fantastic, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Look out for more content coming to the channel. We've got a lot planned. I think I've beaten the car below me. Maybe. I'll speak to you all soon.